Hello everyone, welcome to Virginia Museum of Fine Arts Creative Connection, Sensing the World Outside. This video is brought to you by VMFA Early Childhood Education. We are excited to be sharing with you. Get ready to follow along with each teacher, and feel free to pause the video and continue as it fits your family. If you have any questions or comments, please contact us at earlychildhood@vmfa.museum. Enjoy!
Hello everybody, Miss Corinne here with the VMFA Early Childhood Education. Before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to our videos and watching them, and for making art and sending them so that we can see it. It's been really fun to watch and see what you guys have been creating, and it looks like you're working really hard. So thanks for participating with us. So before we get started, I wanted to sing our welcome song. Can I see your wiggling fingers? Awesome. You ready? Welcome everybody, let's wave hello. Let's touch our nose and wiggle our toes. Welcome everybody, let's pinch our cheeks and smack our knees and stomp our feet. Welcome everybody, let's wiggle our ears and blink our eyes and clap our hands. Yay! Welcome everybody, let's start our class. Awesome. All right, everyone. So today we are going to be talking about our 5 senses. And if you have heard about our 5 senses, you might know that our 5 senses help us learn about the world around us, especially outside. So I'm going to go through our 5 different senses. And if you have a mirror at home, it is super helpful, and especially handheld, or you can go in the bathroom and look at yourself in the mirror. So I'm going to look at myself in the mirror, and I'm going to see if I can find my eyes. Can you find your eyes? Awesome. Can you blink them? Blink, blink. So what do our eyes help us do? That's right, they help us see things. They help us see the whole world around us. So if I look around, I can see the blue sky above me and the clouds. I can also see the maple tree behind me and the green grass and lots of other things. So our eyes help us see. Next, can you look at yourself again in the mirror? Let's see. I think I can find my nose. Where's your nose? There it is. What do you use your nose for? Can you sniff? You use your nose for smelling. And what can you smell when you're outside? I know, I can hear some people mowing their lawn, and I can hear and smell, I can really smell the grass getting cut. I can also find flowers in my yard. See my flowers, and I can smell the flowers. So that helps us learn about the world around us by smelling. Next, look at yourself in the mirror again. Let's see, can you find your, what's this? Yep, it's an ear. Can you wiggle your ears? Nice job. What do your ears help you do? Yes, they help you listen or hear. And what can you hear when you're outside? Like I said before, I can hear someone mowing their lawn, so that helps me listen. I also can hear the wind blowing through the trees. I can listen to birds chirping. Does anybody hear the birds chirping in my yard? It might be kind of hard to hear, but I have lots of birds chirping in my yard. What do birds say? Do they go tweet, 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 or chirp, chirp, chirp? Nice job. All right, let's see. Let's look at ourselves again in the mirror. Can I find, what is that? Yes, it's our mouths. But what's inside of our mouths that help us do something? Our tongue. Our tongue helps us to, that's right, it helps us to taste. Can you stick out your tongue with me? So, what can you taste outside? Let's see. If you have a garden outside, maybe you can taste the vegetables from the garden. Or has anybody gone on a picnic or maybe even picnicked in their yard? Yeah, I know I have. And I am eating food and tasting it while I'm outside eating at a picnic. So that is something we can do with our tongues. And our last one, can you show me your hands? There they are. There's your hands. What do our hands help us do? A lot of times people say that they help us grab things, but also touch things. Can you rub your hands together? So we use our hands all the time, right? And we use our hands to touch and to feel things. So I know that we can use our hands to touch leaves. How does a leaf feel? Does it feel smooth? Sometimes they feel prickly or soft. And I know mine, when my leaf from this maple tree behind me feels very smooth. I can also touch the grass, and you can hear the grass too, and it feels scratchy. So those are all our 5 senses. Let's go through them one more time. So we have seeing, we have smelling, we have hearing or listening with our ears, we have tasting with our tongue, and then we have touching with our hands. Awesome job, you guys. So we are going to have a story time soon and go through other parts of our art project as well, and seeing a piece of art from the museum. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, friends.
Hello, I'm excited to share one of my favorite books about the 5 senses with you. And this is a great book because it's also all about nature and the seasons of the year. And there are parts of the story that you can sing with me. So let's start by looking at the cover of the book. Do you spy an animal on the cover? Good, there's a bear. And some of you are seeing a bluebird. Do you notice the grass and the flowers? And if you look closely at the bear's face, how do you think the bear feels? Yeah, he looks pretty happy. He looks like he's enjoying a beautiful day outside in nature. And if you look behind the bear, does anybody know what this shape is? Yeah, it's a mountain. And the title of our story is The Bear Went Over the Mountain by Isa Trapani. So before we begin our story, can everyone make sure you're ready by clicking on your listening ears and putting on your thinking caps? Zoop! All right, I think we're ready for The Bear Went Over the Mountain. And when we sing the song in the story, I think some of you might recognize it. So we're going to start by singing The Bear Went Over the Mountain to see what he could see. And the song goes like this. The bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain to see what he could see. He saw a dragonfly, a bluebird flitting by, 3 fuzzy rabbits skipping, 5 happy ducklings dipping. Can you see the ducklings splashing in the water? Yeah. And 1 mama duck came nipping to chase him up a tree. Oh no! What do you think the mama duck sounded like? Quack, quack, quack. Yeah, it looks like she was making a lot of noise to protect her babies. And it looks like it worked because the bear jumped up in the tree. Now we're going to sing The Bear Went Over the Mountain to hear what he could hear. The bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain to hear what he could hear. He heard a cricket chirp, a woodchuck sip and slurp, the hum of froggies peeping, the burst of birdies cheeping. Do you see the frogs on the lily pads? They're dancing around. What sound do you think the frogs were making? Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. That's right. And if you look at this picture, what season do you think it is? I see lots of green and flowers and birds. I think it's springtime too. Yeah. Look what else the bear heard. The swish of something creeping and hissing in his ear. What is it? A snake! You're right. Can you hiss like a snake? Sss. Good job. Next, we're going to sing The Bear Went Over the Mountain to smell what he could smell. The bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain to smell what he could smell. He smelled the spicy pines, sweet honeysuckle vines, the minty grasses swaying, the moldy leaves decaying. Looks like the bear likes the smell of the moldy leaves, doesn't it? He's smiling and taking a big sniff. And a skunk beside him sprang. It's time to say farewell. Oh no, it looks like the skunk was also protecting her babies. And if you look at the bear's face, does it look like it smelled good or bad? Yeah, it doesn't look like it smelled good, does it? Next, we're going to sing The Bear Went Over the Mountain to touch what he could touch. The bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain to touch what he could touch. It looks like maybe it's summertime now in our story. He touched a soggy log, a wet and warty frog, a minnow slick and shiny, a blossom soft and tiny. How do you think the frog felt? And a porcupine all spiny. He did not like it much. Oh no, look at the bear's paws. He's got porcupine quills stuck in it. They can be really spiky, so that probably didn't feel very good. Now we're going to sing The Bear Went Over the Mountain to taste what he could taste. The bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain to taste what he could taste. He tasted tangy shrubs, delicious juicy grubs, a beechnut tough and chewy, some berries tart and dewy. Bears like to eat berries, don't they? Can you think of anything else that bears really like to eat? Honey. Good. And honey, you were right. And honey, sweet and gooey. But then away he raced. Uh-oh, do you see what's happening? Those bees are chasing him away. They didn't want to share their honey, did they? If you look at the leaves on the tree, do you see? Are they green? Right, they've turned yellow, and some of them are beginning to fall to the ground. That's a clue that the season is changing again, and it's starting to become fall or autumn. And look at the picture now. Do you see where the sun is in the sky? What time of day do you think it is? Yeah, the sun's starting to go down. It's starting to get dark. And the bear looks like maybe he's collecting some things. Do you see what he's collecting? Yeah, leaves and acorns. I wonder what he's going to do with those. Well, it's time for the bear to go home again. So we're going to sing The Bear Went Over the Mountain to go back home again. Ready? The bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain to go back home again. And do you know where bears live sometimes? Right, in caves or in dens. So maybe that's where he's headed. Check out the weather. Do you see? Yeah, it's snowing. There's snow on the ground. So that gives us a clue that the season has changed again. And now it's winter time. Back down the other side, he plodded satisfied. His spirits were just soaring from all of his exploring. And there he is with all of the things he's gathered, heading into his den. And now the bear is snoring snugly in his den. Look at him. He's all cozy in there, and he has started his winter nap. He's going to hibernate until it's springtime again. And think about what that would sound like when the bear is snoring. It would probably be pretty loud, wouldn't it? And that's the end, my friend. So thank you for listening to my story and singing along with me, and I hope you enjoyed it. I have a special friend who wanted to join me today to talk to you about the 5 senses. So this is my friend Ziggy, and sometimes Ziggy can be a little shy, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, Ziggy wants to know who I'm talking to. He wants to be able to see all of your faces. But what does Ziggy need to be able to see you? What do you use to see with? That's right, we see with our eyes. So let's give Ziggy some eyes. And remember, seeing is one of our 5 senses. Okay, so now Ziggy has eyes and he can see all of your smiling faces. Would you like to say hello to Ziggy? Okay. Ziggy says he can't hear you. What does Ziggy need to be able to hear you? That's right, Ziggy needs ears because we use our ears to hear. So let's give Ziggy some ears so he can have his sense of hearing. Okay, this is what Ziggy looks like with his ears. And now that he can hear you, let's see if you can say hello again, okay? He said he can hear you. Ziggy says, hello, friends. Okay, what else does Ziggy need? Is there something on your face that Ziggy's missing? Yeah, Ziggy needs a nose. And what does your nose help you do? Right, your nose helps you smell. So let's give Ziggy a nose so he can have his sense of smell. Ziggy can smell. Ziggy says you smell yummy. But don't worry, Ziggy only eats fruits and vegetables, right, Ziggy? So it's okay. All right, what else does Ziggy need? Speaking of eating fruits and vegetables, what about his mouth? Right, Ziggy doesn't have a tongue. So what does your tongue help you do? I'm hearing a lot of people say that your tongue helps you lick. And you're right, your tongue can help you lick yummy foods like ice cream cones. And guess what? Your tongues can also help you taste. If you didn't have a tongue, that ice cream wouldn't taste as yummy, would it, Ziggy? So let's give Ziggy a tongue so he can have his sense of taste. Okay, there's one more thing Ziggy needs. You're right, he could have legs, but he might try to run away from me if he had legs. I'm also hearing people say arms, another great answer. And what's at the end of your arms? That's right, you have hands and fingers. And what do they help us do? Lots of things, you're right, but they help us to feel and touch, which is another one of our senses. So let's give Ziggy some arms and hands so that he can have a sense of touch. Now he has some pretty funny looking arms and hands, and they look like that. Can you put your hands on your hips and stand like Ziggy? Good job. All right, so Ziggy, you have all 5 of your senses now. Yay! Oh, Ziggy wants to know if you want to sing a song with us. Would you like to do that? They said yes. Okay, we're going to sing a song about our 5 senses, and we're going to sing about using our senses to discover things in nature. So let's start with our eyes. Can you think about all the things that you could see in nature? There are so many colors and shapes. What do you like to look at in nature, Ziggy? Ziggy says he likes to look at bugs. So let's sing a song about using our eyes to see bugs. And our song goes like this. I use my eyes to see. I use my eyes to see. And when I want to see a bug, I use my eyes to see. Great job, Ziggy. All right, what about your ears? What can you hear in nature? Do you hear anything outside right now? What do you hear, Ziggy? Ziggy hears birds singing and chirping. You might have heard them too. So let's sing a song about using our ears to hear birds. Ready? I use my ears to hear. I use my ears to hear. And when I want to hear a bird, I use my ears to hear. Okay, what about your nose? Can you think of things you can smell in nature? Ziggy says he likes to smell flowers too, just like you. So let's sing about using our nose to smell flowers. Here we go. I use my nose to smell. I use my nose to smell. And when I want to smell a flower, I use my nose to smell. Good job, Ziggy. Nice job, everybody. What about your tongue? Can you think of things you can taste in nature? I bet some of you have gardens in your yards and maybe you're growing fruits and vegetables. Ziggy, do you have a favorite fruit? Ziggy loves to eat strawberries. So let's sing about using our tongue to taste strawberries. Okay, I use my tongue to taste. I use my tongue to taste. And when I want to taste a strawberry, I use my tongue to taste. All right, we have one more. What about all the things in nature that you can touch and feel? There are so many textures in nature, smooth and bumpy, rough. What do you like to touch? Ziggy likes to touch the rough bark of a tree. So let's sing about using our hands to touch a tree. Ready? I use my hands to touch. I use my hands to touch. And when I want to touch a tree, I use my hands to touch. Yay! Good job, everybody. Ziggy said you did a really great job singing. And he's so happy he got to meet you guys today, and he hopes he sees you again soon. So thank you for spending some time with us and singing along, and we'll see you again. Bye, friends.
Hello, everyone. We're going to be performing a lap bounce for infants and young toddlers. Now, if you're too old to sit on a grown-up's lap, you're welcome to sit on the grass and perform the activity alongside of us. And remember that, while lots of fun, lap bounces are also very beneficial for our infants' physical and language development. So here we are sitting on the grass with our legs outstretched in front of us, our baby on our lap. If your baby is not old enough to sit up or hold their head up on their own, you want to lay them flat on your lap. Okay, and here's my little friend. Hello, everyone. Let's get started. We're bouncing on smooth soil, smooth soil, smooth soil. We're bouncing on smooth soil here in our yard. We're bouncing on bumpy soil, bumpy soil, bumpy soil. We're bouncing on bumpy soil here in our yard. We're bouncing on rough soil, rough soil, rough soil. We're bouncing on rough soil here in our yard. Uh-oh, fall over. All right, everyone, and you're welcome to watch this over again and perform it as many times as it's fun. See you next time.
Hello everybody, this is Miss Corinne here with VMFA Early Childhood Education, and today we're going to be doing an art project about our 5 senses. Does anybody know what our 5 senses could be? Yeah? Let's do it together. Ready? We see with our eyes, we smell with our nose, we taste with our tongue. Can you stick out your tongue? We listen with our ears, and we touch or feel with our hands. So we're going to be doing a senses collage today, and this is what mine looks like. Yours can look however you would like. There's no wrong way to do this project. But on mine, you can see that there are lots of different textures, like the bubble wrap and the leaves and the piece of cloth. I also have mud paint on here, and I have flowers that you can smell. So you can use a lot of your different senses, except for taste, to experience this art project. So what you will need for your art project is your materials. So for my materials, I have, as you knew, some flowers. I also use coffee filters you can find around the house. And you can use an onion bag. A lot of people might have onion bags that you can cut up and put on there. Leaves, pieces of newspaper are good that you can cut up, and lots of different things like that. You also will need glue. I have a glue stick here with me at home, but you can use any type of glue and that will work just fine. You also need some dirt to collect from your yard. I like to use it with a shovel, it's nice and easy. And you'll need some water to make mud. You'll also need paper. I have watercolor paper with me right now, but if you use a different type of paper, that should be fine. You can also have a paintbrush if you have one with you. I also am collecting nature brushes, so this is just a stick, but I call it my nature brush. You can also collect pine needles to make it into a nature brush as well. And you'll need some water to make your mud. So if you would like to, first you can pause this video, collect all of the different supplies that you find, like the leaves from outside or different things inside of your home, and you can collect a little bucket of dirt. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, I hope you're back with your dirt and your found supplies that have lots of different textures, and we're going to begin with our project. So first, you're going to get your glue stick or any type of glue you have, and I like to put some glue on my paper first. It's a little easier for me to stick the supplies on top instead of trying to put glue on the different objects. So I'm just going to do one for you to demonstrate. So I have a glue mark with my glue stick on here, and then I'm going to put on, let's see, I'm going to put a flower on mine, and then I'm going to put one other object on here as well. Let's see, I think I'm going to put some bubble wrap on this one. So you can see that my supplies will fit on here just fine. And then after you put all the different objects you want with the different textures on your paper, then you can begin by making your mud paint. So to make your mud paint, I have a bowl that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to put some dirt inside of my bowl, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of water and stir it around, and I'm going to stir it around with my stick, and then you have your mud. So it's super easy. I have mine already spread out on a little plate here, so I'm just going to use my nature brush and spread it around. You can also spread it around with your fingers too. It's pretty fun. So I also wanted to show you guys how to make the colored mud paint. So you can see regular mud is brown, but I have pink here, green, and blue. But I'm just going to demonstrate by making some of the pink paint today. So what you'll need is you'll need some of your dirt again, and you can just put a little bit on. It doesn't have to be a ton of dirt. Just spread that out. And then I'm going to add some white paint. And I am using Crayola finger paint, but you can also use acrylic paint, or even tempera is fine too. So I put a generous amount of white in there. And then I have also some reddish pink that I'm going to squirt in here. And then all I do is mix it around. And you can already see that it's becoming a nice pink color. And I'm just going to directly put some of my mud paint onto my paper and spread it around. It gets pretty clumpy sometimes, which is kind of the fun of it because it adds more texture. But as you can see on my paper, I have my flower and my mud paint. So that's all there is to it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this project. We would love to see pictures if you want to email them to our VMFA Early Childhood email. But have fun with it, you guys, and I hope to see you guys soon. Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Miss Charlotte, and today for our virtual gallery visit we're going to look at a print from the VMFA called In the Garden by Romare Bearden. Romare Bearden was an African-American artist, and he was interested in showing togetherness in his community through his artwork. We actually have another piece by the artist Romare Bearden at the VMFA called 3 Folk Musicians, and that piece is a collage. while we look at this art today, we're going to think about our 5 senses, okay? Let's go take a look. We are looking at In the Garden by Romare Bearden together and exploring this artwork with our 5 senses. The 5 senses are sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. We can see with our eyes, smell with our nose, taste with our tongue, touch with our hands, and hear with our ears. When we look at this artwork, what do we see? What colors can you see? What do the colors tell you about what season it is? I can see a woman in this artwork standing in a garden. What do you think this woman can see? What is the woman holding in her hand? Can you tell me what that feels like? How would it feel to touch the plants in her garden? What does the weather outside feel like to her? What can the woman smell? What can you smell when you're in a garden? What can the woman hear? Can you point to anything in this artwork that makes a sound? Can you make that sound too? What do you hear when you're in a garden outside? What can this woman taste? Do you see anything in this artwork that has a taste? Thank you for looking at this artwork with me. Feel free to pause this video if you want to talk about the artwork a little longer. Bye!
Hello again. Ziggy and I are back to thank everyone who joined us for our Creative Connection lesson, and we hope you enjoy learning about your 5 senses and all the ways that your senses can help you discover things in nature. So we hope you had a lot of fun with our story and our song, and that you'll try out our art project. So thanks again. Oh, Ziggy said don't forget to sing the goodbye song. Thanks, Ziggy. So if you know our goodbye song, can you sing along? Ready? Now it's time to say goodbye to our friends. Now it's time to say goodbye to our friends. Now it's time to say goodbye. Give a smile and a high five. Would you like to give Ziggy a high five? Now it's time to say goodbye to our friends. So thank you for joining us. We hope you had a lot of fun. We enjoyed spending some time with you, and we hope to do it again soon. So goodbye, friends.